Hi, my friends. We continue our playlist. Let's translate. Значит, все мы говорим во времени present continuous. Ты не контролируешь это. You aren't controlling it. You aren't controlling it. Ты не думаешь об этом. You aren't thinking about it. You aren't thinking about it. Я не читаю эту книгу. I'm not reading this book. I'm not reading this book. Мы не обсуждаем это. We aren't discussing it. We aren't discussing it. Она не сидит дома. She isn't staying at home. She isn't staying at home. Они не помогают мне. They aren't helping me. They aren't helping me. Они не пытаются проанализировать свои ошибки. Они не пытаются. They aren't trying проанализировать, to analyze свои ошибки, their mistakes. They aren't trying to analyze their mistakes. Она не сидит со своими детьми. Она не сидит. She isn't staying с своими детьми with her children. She isn't staying with her children. Они не думают о своем будущем. They aren't thinking about their future. They aren't thinking about their future. Это не помогает мне. It isn't helping me. It isn't helping me. You aren't controlling it. You aren't thinking about it. I'm not reading this book. We aren't discussing it. She isn't staying at home. They aren't helping me. They aren't trying to analyze their mistakes. She isn't staying with her children. They aren't thinking about their future. It isn't helping me. Это не становится менее дорогим. Это не становится. It isn't getting менее дорогим. Less expensive. It isn't getting less expensive. Мы не смотрим это видео. We aren't watching this video. We aren't watching this video. Мы не переводим этот текст. We aren't translating this text. We aren't translating this text. Ты не проверяешь это. You aren't checking it. You aren't checking it. Это не происходит. It isn't happening. It isn't happening. Он не делает свою домашнюю работу. He isn't doing his homework. He isn't doing his homework. Они не играют в компьютерные игры. They aren't playing computer games. They aren't playing computer games. Он не объясняет. Это ясно. Он не объясняет. He isn't explaining. Это ясно. It clearly. He isn't explaining it clearly. Она не работает над своей грамматикой сейчас. She isn't working on her grammar now. She isn't working on her grammar now. Они не делают эти упражнения. Now или просто. Они не делают эти упражнения. They aren't doing these exercises. They aren't doing these exercises. Мы не ждем его. We aren't waiting for him. We aren't waiting for him. Я не делаю это. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. It isn't getting less expensive. We aren't watching this video. We aren't translating this text. You aren't checking it. It isn't happening. He isn't doing his homework. They aren't playing computer games. He isn't explaining it clearly. She isn't working on her grammar. They aren't doing these exercises. We aren't waiting for him. I'm not doing it. Это не становится более дорогим. It isn't getting more expensive. It isn't getting more expensive. Это не становится лучше. It isn't getting better. It isn't getting better. По умолчанию используем better. It isn't getting better. Getting. Также возможно becoming. Ты не слушаешь меня. You aren't listening to me. You aren't listening to me. Она не живет здесь. She isn't living here. She isn't living here. Он не объясняет эти вещи. He isn't explaining эти вещи. These things. He isn't explaining these things. Ты не пытаешься понять это. Ты не пытаешься. You aren't trying понять это. To understand it. You aren't trying to understand it. Это не становится популярным. It isn't getting popular. It isn't getting popular. Я не думаю об этом. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not thinking about it. Он не изучает английский. He isn't learning English. He isn't learning English. По умолчанию используем выражение learn English. Он не занимается. He isn't studying. He isn't studying. Они не строят дом. They aren't building a house. They aren't building a house. It isn't getting more expensive. It isn't getting better. You aren't listening to me. She isn't living here. He isn't explaining these things. You aren't trying to understand it. It isn't getting popular. I'm not thinking about it. He isn't learning English. He isn't studying. They aren't building a house. My friends, thank you. We continue our playlist.